Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 12th of January. So as we fly through the month as usual, let's have a look at today. In terms of risk events, let's just bring that up. There we go. So risk events today, we've got, it's just Wednesday, let's just click on Wednesday and so there we go. Keep it focused. So we got the US inflation due out later on. Now they're giving me monthly numbers here. There's a lot more focus actually on the annual, yeah, the rolling percentage, which is expected to come up to close to 7% annualized. Now we'll see what happens there. Anything coming up above that will put even more pressure on the interest rate increases, but there's pretty much been spelt out by a lot of the members of the Fed that March could well see the first interest rate increase. Now one disappointment yesterday, and it sort of affected, there was no mention of the unwinding of all these positions that have been bought, so that was seen as a bit of a dovish leave behind, but and Powell's comments were that it could take many months of meetings to agree on that, but we'll see what happens. I think there'll be some calling for a bigger unwinding sooner rather than later. Anyway, this is today. FOMC Brainard speaking 3 p.m. He can create quite a lot of volatility, so there you go. He's highlighted there. He's testifying. Federal Board of Governors, so again we could get some volatility out later afternoon. Right, had a question on sentiment and gold. I'll cover that now. Managed money, what's the managed money doing? It's coming out of gold at the moment. It seems to be. It's taken a bit of a tip down, although some of the shorts reduced as well. But managed money, it's just hide these other ones around so you don't get confused with what's what. And you just see it's just taken a step out. It had been pulling back up again, but there may have been just late adjustments towards the end of last year, but certainly we're seeing money running back south again. Right, that's that. I'll come back onto other currencies in a moment. Let's have a look at the major pairs first, starting off with the euro dollar as ever, and well, we did see a push up on the euro after, I almost call him Ben Bernanke. I once called him Bernanke at the moment instead of Powell for some reason. It's probably just old age getting me, but either way, we did have the push up there, selling off a little bit this morning to start with. Just looking, this range is still not broken in either way at the moment. It looked like it was going to challenge the highs, but as I say, coming away at the moment, and well, things could change quite drastically this afternoon. Now if the inflation is well under expectation, it does take the heat off a little bit, and we could see the euro push up some more. At the moment, though, we've got this quite bearish looking reversal candle, key reversal candle sitting there on the 4 hourlies, which is not quite finished, but could well do. We've got the daily pivot sitting below, which is not much further down. Now I'd be watching to see if that bounces from there. If it breaks through, well, downside towards the S1 would be a reasonable shot. Okay, that's euro. The pound. Pound continued its sort of stronger moves, and yesterday closed up pretty much near the highs. Pretty solid close to the day, coming off them again at the moment, but we've carried on seeing these higher highs, higher lows running through here, and it's, well, at the moment just in a decent trend. Again, this may be the better one if you were looking for the buy off the pivot. It's trying to get down. It may not get all the way. We'll see. It did manage to get back yesterday to its pivot. It might do similar today, but that area for me could be a buy. We'll see how things and timing of that, of course. If it's looking close to the news at 1:30, I'll just let it do what it wants to do until after the news. Dollar yen. Oops, I'll come back here. Dollar yen, let's get the right one. No, it'll get there in the end. Dollar yen, there we go. Dollar yen inside bar yesterday, very indecisive market. It started off looking risk off and then risk on, and quite a mess. Just a retest back into its weekly pivot here, and then, well, you just see it's not the clearest of markets. It did an ABC sort of corrective move. Are we going to see that those highs broken, or are we going to continue to the downside here? It's just really a trend line across the lows there would suggest a break to this downside. I'm still expecting further upside. The big money's been sort of moving away from the yen, and I'm expecting further upside. The yen, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar's got into a bit of a mess. I was still expecting more of a correction to the downside on this last couple of days. Yesterday, shot back into its 50. It's overrun that this morning. It's one of the stronger pairs. It's got the higher lows, higher highs coming through here. It's got the potential, but just selling off as we run into this again. Daily pivot sitting below, some divergence over the highs there. That could be running back to its daily pivot, and we've got a very similar case through quite a few of these majors here. And it's really how price comes back, what the reaction is to that daily pivot when it comes. If they all start breaking through, well, we'll be looking for the S1s, or I'll be looking for the S1s. Okay, that's the Aussie. Finally, the Canadian dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar, continuing its route here. It's a bit more in line with expectation for me. I was looking for a bigger correction here, more downside, and it's doing that quite nicely. So it's just really waiting for the afternoon for opportunities. We're seeing the main moves running in the afternoons at the moment, as opposed to the morning. We sometimes get a decent move at the starts, but it seems more post in the afternoons, largely driven by what the Fed are doing and these sort of meetings that we're seeing, inflation coming out today. So it's, the market's almost holding its breath until the afternoon, and we're seeing the much clearer moves coming later, as you saw here into yesterday 2 o'clock. Nice move back there, and then selling off come the news, etc., in the speakers. So sold off in the afternoon there. Okay, anyway, for now, look, it's a pivot. It's inverted to the pound, the euro, etc., the Aussie. You've got an inverted move here. I'd be looking at that daily pivot to see how price reacts later. So just a patience game this morning. Right, that's that. Let's have a look at gold. As I said, sentiment on gold. Someone asked me what the big money was doing. Well, it's taken to coming out a little bit. That said, yesterday we had a solid up day there, and we have been sort of moving through into this sort of high lows, higher highs for some time here. Not totally convinced with it. It's moving into that time when it in a cycle basis where it generally softens, but yeah, I'm not massively convinced either way at this stage. In fact, if anything, I'm a little bit more bearish, but just waiting for the opportunity. The lower high coming through this morning, and again a pivot sitting there below, and again just watching, maybe overrun that a little bit into 34 or even 50, but for now looking lower high instead of diverging where a lot of the currencies have diverged. This has put a lower high in, just a little bit softer at the moment. Right, oil. So oil, solid day yesterday on the old oil price in the end. It's a bit of a weird one. It was chopping around like a good one at one stage. It just towards the late afternoon there, it pushed back up there, but whether it's tradable for a lot of people, we had this horrible chop coming through around about 2 o'clock. That would probably, for the cash market sort of really coming into play, and quite a reaction there. Looks like it would have triggered some people in, stopped them out, and off it went. Really volatile, odd movements. Again, we've got the divergence sitting across the highs here, daily pivot below. It's following the trends of the currencies. Everything's looking the same this morning. It's just picking the right one. If I was looking at the currencies, I'd probably look at the pound dollar. It's been the strongest against the US dollar. It's been one of the stronger pairs. Oil, well, I'll wait until the afternoon for this. Right, let's now switch across. We'll look at the cryptos first this morning. Bitcoin managed a bit of a bounce yesterday. Still not convinced though whether this downside is over. It has the potential. It's got all these sort of prior lows there. The support area, it obviously was a key support back then, but it needs to do, for me to be bullish on this, it needs to give me a higher low. I need to see something. I need to be looking at a solid first wave, a retracement into the second wave, and then I'll looking for that third wave. Ethereum, again, trying a decent bounce yesterday, but for me it still looks like there's still potential downside. Ripple, much the same story. So as we run through these markets, similar story running all the way through. For the moon, as we like to call it, that is outperforming the other markets, and at the moment it's again, yesterday it did quite a good reversal, pushing up there. So that's really FTM looking of any of these markets, it's outperforming at the moment, much more positive. Right, that's that. Let's have a look at the indices. Finish off with the indices. Quick look at here. Okay, CSI 300 just consolidating around these lows again. Maybe it's got something left in the tank to push it back up in its range, but it is very rangy. If you take my trend line off, which might be a bit confusing, but you'll just see how many times it's just sort of popped down in this range, testing the lows of it. But that in itself, to me, it looks like it could be setting for another drop down lower. Nikkei 225 managed a bit of a bounce through the Asian session there again, so they're both moving in the same direction. A bit of a bounce, and this may be where we're seeing the currencies, it all fits in. We've seen the other currencies doing okay. We're just pitching into 8 o'clock, and we're seeing the UK FTSE pushing into new near-term highs at least. It's been running solid. Yesterday it ran off, and there it goes into the new high. So FTSE still on the bullish side there. DAX gaps there, quite a big gap as well by the looks of things this morning. Could come back for that gap at some stage, but for now it's looking relatively strong. There'll be quite a few trying to buy against that to close that gap. CAC, or sell against that, I should say, not buy against it, sell against it. But at the moment the European markets are all quite solid opens. S&Ps, what are they doing at the moment? A bit of a swing here going on, pivotal swing. It's back into these prior highs sort of level. It's whether it can push through here. Bit bigger picture, I'm still, well, okay, the S&Ps are doing okay, but the Nasdaq, it's done the same swing. Maybe this could be short-lived. High inflation this afternoon will probably put the end for now back into these, because it just shows the potential for interest rate increases continuing. Anyway, Dow Jones not quite so solid there, but still edging up at the moment. So all the indices doing quite well at this stage. Just still finally looking at the yields, just dropped back a little bit. We were seeing it pretty close to 1.8 yesterday, and we're sitting at the moment with the yields 1.7. So, but you see that they're back on the move to the upside. So we could push higher on the yields. Goes with a stronger dollar basically. Weaker equities and stronger dollar. Right, that's it. Okay, that's me done for the day. Wish you a great day's trading. Let's just check. Have a a good day. I've covered all the major markets there. So yeah, have a great one. Take care. Bye for now. That's that job jobbed.